everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode of Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff you may or may not have heard of. Today we'll be looking at an old abandoned television show which is considered to be the worst show that ever aired on Cartoon Network, known as Out of Jimmy's Head. This was a live-action / animated show that was created by Tim McKean and Adam Pava, and premiered on Cartoon Network on September 14, 2007. So before I talk about the series, let's go back even further to the pilot episode that was actually a film called Reanimated, that was created by the same people in December 8, 2006. The pilot was about some kid named Jimmy Roberts, played by Dominic James, who accidentally gets hit by a train, and the only way to revive him is through the use of brain surgery. So they pull out a brain that used to belong to a famous cartoonist named Milt Appleday. Once the surgery is complete, Jimmy starts singing cartoon characters that were created by Milt Appleday, and they later explain that now that he has Milt's brain, Jimmy's the only guy who can see these cartoon wannabes. So after the movie was completed, they started to work on the TV series. So let's look at the cast of characters. Jimmy is your average schoolboy, except with the brain of a famous cartoonist, and a whole bunch of other crap that makes this guy forgettable. His father, played by Bill Dyer, is the school's principal at Jimmy's school, or teacher, I can't remember which. His mother, played by Rachel Quentins, is an astronaut who usually goes off into space all day. In fact, she doesn't appear in the show that much, as far as I can remember. Then there's Yancy, played by Rhea Lando, is Jimmy's adopted sister, and yes, she's a frickin' alien that his mother found up in space one time. It's about as stupid as it can get. And then we have Jimmy's friend Robin and Craig, played by Tanasha Kachingu and John Etheridge II. Craig is more of the wacky one, while Robin is more of the calm and caring person. And then there's Sonny Appledale, played by Matt Cunson, or something like that. He is Milt Appleday's son, who lives in Jimmy's basement, planning to take his brain, saying with his father's brain, he'll become the greatest cartoonist and believes it'll help him rule the world.
Of course!
But the guy's a total joke. He always carries around a sack of money. The guy can't be taken too seriously, and his plans are just pathetic. I remember there was one where he had to dress up as a bear while he was holding on to his bag of money and riding a balloon. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh plus money bags equals a lousy excuse for a diabolical plan. And now for the cartoon characters. First we have Golly and Dolly Gopher, played by Carl Azwaku and Ellen Green. Sorry if I pronounced those names wrong. They were known as Appleday's best creations, with Golly being the star and Dolly being his female counterpart. Next is Croco, played by Brian Posen. He's pretty much the pea-brain alligator who usually gets himself into clumsy situations all the time. Next is Tux, played by Tom Kenny. He is the penguin who tells jokes, but they're usually corny and lame since his catchphrase is Zing! And then there's this pickle and porcupine or hedgehog character who don't have any voices, but they do nothing all day but beat each other up. So I think the whole show was trying to teach kids the power of friendship, but it just didn't work since the whole show is garbage. The jokes are stale, the characters are boring, Golly and his friends are cheap knockoffs of Mickey and the gang, while the two mute characters are Tom and Jerry wannabes. Another thing the show was known for was its false advertisement. It was said that this was going to be the first live-action / animated series on Cartoon Network, and obviously that was false. Space Ghost Coast to Coast was in fact the first live-action / animated series on Cartoon Network. Out of Jimmy's Head is the second one. I think one of the reasons the show suffered was that it was the only show on Cartoon Network that was affected by the 2007 Writers Guild of America strike. This was a moment when writers from various shows weren't getting the respect they needed and decided to go on strike. During this, Out of Jimmy's Head was put on hiatus when half of Season 1 was completed. While the strike died down, the show resumed its run, but it didn't last very long. With only one season and 20 episodes total, Out of Jimmy's Head was cancelled in May 2008 and was never seen again. Nowadays, it's a real challenge to find all 20 episodes of the series. The pilot was released on DVD, but none of the episodes got a home video release, at least not to my knowledge. As for the internet, I was only able to find the intro and the roller coaster scene from one of the episodes. I guess Cartoon Network is trying to erase the damage they caused with that show, and get people their respect back, but I don't think that's helping after the crap they've been spewing out lately. In closing, I might as well sum up the Out of Jimmy's Head in a nutshell.
Failure.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media. So this is MeltingMan234 signing out.